Erin Burnett and out front tonight. Enough. Vice President Kamala Harris tonight ripping Donald Trump to shreds in Wisconsin, saying, she says, enough of the gaslighting.
I want and intend to be a president for all Americans. And no matter their political party, where they live, or where they get their news, okay? And on that point, last night you may have seen I went on Fox News. And while I was doing that, Donald Trump was at a Univision town hall where a voter asked him about January 6th. Okay, so now we here know January 6th was a tragic day. It was a day of terrible violence. There were attacks on law enforcement. 140 law enforcement officers were injured. Some were killed. And what did Donald Trump say last night about January 6th? He called it a quote, a day of love. But it points out something that everyone here knows. The American people are exhausted with his gaslighting. Exhausted with his gaslighting. Enough!
And Harris, obviously, that was earlier in her schedule today. She will be momentarily speaking in Green Bay, Wisconsin in just a few moments, and we're going to bring you those remarks live, along with those of former President Trump later on tonight. But you heard Harris mention that combative Fox interview last night, and the crowd roaring in approval. And while Harris crossed into unfriendly territory for that interview, Trump today is doing the opposite. So there's now 19 days to go until the election. And today, Trump canceled another major interview. Our Brian Stelter is reporting this time it was with NBC and our former colleague, Christine Romans. It comes after canceling an interview with CNBC that was supposed to take place tomorrow, and that was very interesting. I mean, Harris's campaign's taking notice, posting an image today pointing out all the appearances Trump has canceled in recent weeks and asking, is he okay? For the most part, Trump is now seeking safety in these final days of the campaign, surrounding himself with people who support him. Here he is today on a conservative podcast.
So he won in business, he won in media, he won in politics. Again, there's never been a person who's done that.
You're like a psychiatrist for a lot of people.
And then there was this Foxtown News Hall with women yesterday. It was a town hall that was full of local Republican supporters. The thing is, though, that Fox even edited the broadcast. They edited it to remove some of the participants' vocal support of Trump. That is reporting from our Hadass Gold. And while Trump is avoiding the tough questions, Harris is now taking them head on. I mean, just, take this exchange about immigration on Fox. You know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
It's a
an
rough estimate of
system
6 million people
that
have been
needs to be-
released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came
May
in
I
shift for
please
the
finish?
yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding,
But
please?
Even McKen is out front live in Green Bay, where Harris is about to speak. And even, what are you hearing on the ground in Wisconsin?
So, Erin, I get the sense that Democratic voters here are cautiously optimistic. I just spoke to a woman. She's in her 60s. She's a nurse. She told me that reproductive rights is her #1 issue, but she also likes that the vice president is making these very explicit appeals to Republicans. She says that she is making similar appeals to her colleagues at work, some of her Republican colleagues. She said that a colleague of hers said that she was maybe waiting to buy a house until a Republican returned to the White House, and she told her, listen, the vice president has an economic plan, has a housing plan. So that person, this woman that I spoke to, is really the model voter here for the campaign, as Vice President Harris tries to characterize herself as a consensus candidate, someone who is willing to work with both Democrats and Republicans, someone who is centering her economic vision. We see this in Wisconsin, we'll see it tomorrow in Michigan, talking about manufacturing, protecting workers, entrepreneurship. She was on a college campus today here in the state with Mark Cuban, emphasizing these issues. And I'll end with this, Aaron. She's also leading on Wisconsinites to make a plan to vote. Early voting begins in this state next week. And then same-day voting is also available here, so people can show up on election day and still be able to participate in the process.
All right,
Aaron?
Eva, thank you very much. And a moment ago, we were showing the Vice President's plan, landing where you are. She'll be speaking momentarily. We'll take that when she does. But